Game 1, Saturday, noon Eastern. Number 18, Tennessee versus Memphis inside Yeezus Arena, downtown Nashville. KenPom has it, Tennessee -5. You can watch it on ESPN2. It's Yeezus Arena.
I heard a rumor that Kennedy Chandler's from Memphis. Can you confirm?
It's my little homie. That's my little homie from Memphis. He's been terrific. He's averaging 14.6 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 1.9 steals, shooting 40% from 3, 78% from the free throw line. Having an incredible freshman season. Could be the star inside Yeezus Arena on Saturday.
Before I pick, can you remind me if you know off the top of your head, because Memphis, Tennessee have a 3-year deal. Home, neutral. Where do we fall in this? Because after this, the series is apparently going to go away for a while, which is disgraceful, but apparently that's what it's set to do. Where are we falling? Do you know off the top of your head where we fall in that process right now? Is this the last one, or do we have another one next year?
This is the last one. They are working on renewing a series in some form. It appears Rick Barnes wants to do it perhaps, but only in Nashville. Like every year, Nashville, no Memphis, no Knoxville. Let's just go to Nashville. Penny, I think, is open to anything. Mm-hmm. If you remember a few years ago, like Penny said, Rick Barnes, get the F out of here.
I know, which is now like the 74th most intriguing thing of Penny Hardaway's. But at the time, it was awesome and incredible. But now, few people remember that. But yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, and I think like those guys aren't friends, but I think they respect each other. Like they're cool. They're not friends, but they're cool. And so hopefully for both programs, they can figure that out. And I mean, I would prefer let's do it at Thompson Bowling one year, FedEx Forum the next. We've been over how much I like home and homes as opposed to neutral courts. But, annually on a Saturday in December in Nashville is a fun trip for Memphians and folks from Knoxville and people throughout the state. So if that's the best you can do, fine with me. But Memphis and Tennessee should be playing basketball against each other.
Oh, you take it in any form, but man, I actually almost like, for these two, I almost like Memphis, Knoxville, Nashville. Just do that. I kind of like that. That kind of gets you a little best of all worlds there. Parrish, I got to take Tennessee here. Number 1 defensive team in efficiency at KenPom. If you told me it was like 7, I might hesitate. Memphis is coming off a really good game. Now, as much as we learned about the Tigers after the win over Alabama, I think you can learn just as much in this spot. Tennessee is the better team. This is a neutral court. How are you going to respond to that? Are we going to see Memphis have the same kind of liveliness, urgency? I don't want to say attention to detail because Memphis did play with its hair on fire in spurts in that game as well, but it worked for him. Kennedy Chandler, who I have heard is from Memphis,
my little homie,
running the offense as a freshman. He's been solid this season. How he responds to that, and this is a John Fulkerson special. It's time. Let's go, John. Let's go, Victor Bailey. Step up big time here. Tennessee getting this kind of win would certainly benefit its case too, because the only win it has over a potential to likely reasonable NCAA tournament team is North Carolina. No one else at this point. Beat Colorado on the road. That's a nice win. Buffalo's almost certainly aren't going to be a tournament team this year. They're tricking none of the computers, as GP would tell you. So I will take Tennessee to win and to cover.
I'll take Memphis plus the points. 5 seems like a big number to me. Tennessee on paper should win the game, given everything we've seen, short of Memphis's last game. Like if Memphis plays like it did against Alabama, and I don't mean just like plays well. I mean actually plays the way it played. 8-man rotation. If Emoni Bates is not playing well, bench him. Like I think you've got to give Emoni a chance. Like sometimes I'm of the opinion that person doesn't need to be playing. Take him out of the rotation. That's not where I'm at on Emoni Bates. Because if Memphis is going to maximize what Memphis is going to be, Emoni Bates at some point probably got to be a part of that. But in a game of this magnitude, we were talking earlier about Kentucky, North Carolina, and one of the points I made, as you just walked away, is that Kentucky's got plenty of opportunities in front of it in the SEC schedule. You're playing LSU, you're playing Auburn, you're playing Tennessee, you're playing Alabama and Arkansas. Like you got a million opportunities. North Carolina, not as many because the ACC's down, but still enough opportunities. Memphis has 3 games on its regular season schedule against top 50 KenPom teams left. Tennessee, 2 against Houston. Memphis doesn't have a lot of opportunities. And so when you're playing East Carolina or, some other less fortunate AAC school, you can let Emoni Bates play through his stuff. If he's going to go 2 of 10, that's fine. You still win the game by 10. You should. But in a game of this magnitude, put him out there. If he's going, great. If he's not, get him out and stick to playing your best college basketball players as opposed to your best NBA prospects. And so if Penny keeps the rotation short, plays the right people, I won't be surprised if Memphis wins the game. But Tennessee's favored for a reason. I'll take the points, though. +5. Seems like a big number. Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Number 5 Gonzaga versus number 25 Texas Tech inside the Flash Flood Center, Phoenix, Arizona. KenPom has it Gonzaga -6. You can watch it, I think. Is it on CBS?
It is on CBS. This is
America's most watched network. It's the network of stars.
This is the first game of the triple header. And again, Parrish and I will be on at some point in the noon Eastern hour on CBS Sports HQ for a fat 15-minute segment to preview the CBS Sports Classic, and anything else. So if you want to watch this in a different setting when I'm on the other side of my office, and GP will probably be like that. The bummer about this, by the way, Parrish has got the Vegas Strip behind him, but the sun's just, it's really washing out his view there. I wanted to see your Cosmopolitan hotel room, but again, he had to adjust some desks and all this stuff. So it's a letdown, man. Those Cosmo rooms, they're nice. I wanted the viewers to see, and this is what we're getting.
Well, I was going to have the Las Vegas, I was going to have Las Vegas in the background. And the problem, of course, is that the sun was washing me out completely. It was either you could see the buildings behind me or my face. Put that on a poll. See what people would rather look at, my face or the buildings behind me. I'm going to
toss it up, Nada.
Probably the buildings behind me. But, I had to close the blinds. Some last-minute redecorating here in the hotel room.
No. All right. As for this game, I'm going to take Gonzaga to cover, but reluctantly. Texas Tech is physical. They have, I don't want to say they've mastered, but I don't know if there's any team, because this is what Mark Adams' deal has been going back years now when he was the defensive coordinator under Chris Beard at TTU. Texas Tech is better at getting away with more just muck it up, ride the hip, physical, arm checks, all this stuff, really like pushing the envelope of what's allowed from a physicality standpoint than almost any other team. And Gonzaga is not that. Tech doesn't have the athleticism in the backcourt that teams like Alabama and Baylor last season have. It doesn't quite have that, but it does have some dudes for sure. So I think there's a chance that Tech might be able to ugly this game up. It wants to try and keep Gonzaga obviously under 75 points, ideally under 70 if you can, and have a chance at winning it. I don't know if it's going to be quite able to do that. I'll take Gonzaga to narrowly get this win and the cover, and mark me down for a pretty good game from Chet Holmgren. Give me three pointers from Chet, which I don't have his log up yet in front of me. I think he's yet to hit as many as 3 in a game. I could be wrong. Maybe he did in the season opener, but he hasn't been able to do that on an every game basis. I think he has a nice game and Gonzaga wins, but say by 7 or 8.
Flash Flood Center. My wife and I celebrated our anniversary in Scottsdale earlier this year. Flash floods the entire time, multiple. It rained the entire time. We did nothing except we stared at the rain. Rain-covered cacti. We just pour a drink and stare at rain-covered cacti.
Okay.
Who goes to Scottsdale and just rains the whole time? What a ridiculous situation that was. Just a few weeks ago, we were like Gonzaga -8 against anybody. And now Gonzaga's only got to lay 6 against Texas Tech. I'm laying the points. Right. I'm not going to give up. You give up on the Zags too easily.
I said they're going to win and cover. I just think it's going to be a close call.
Well, if they cover, it's not a close call.
It's going to be a close call to them covering. Like I got them covering by like 1 or 2 points. Not a close call if they win by 16. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't care what you think.
You're asking me to pick the game.
Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Number 1 Baylor at Oregon inside Dylan Brooks Arena. Dylan the villain.
That's a Memphis Grizzlies favorite right there.
9-1 since Ja Morant was sidelined with a knee injury. The surging Grizzlies are now 4th in the West.
Hey, I got a text, by the way. It's a blind item because only Dylan Brooks to NBA. I got this like 10 minutes ago. Text from a source. Keep your eyes on the NBA today. That's all it says. Keep your eyes on the NBA.
I was planning on keeping my eyes on the NBA today anyway.
Something else is coming down. So I don't know what that is. But
I was
anyway,
going to keep.
hopefully it has nothing to do with Dylan Brooks. I assume this is tied to COVID stuff, but hopefully that's not something exceedingly drastic. But anyway.
Well, now I'm going to divert my eyes from the NBA.
Divert.
I'm going to divert my eyes from the NBA.
What's the line on this?
KenPom has it Baylor -8. You can watch it on ESPN2.
To you, does that line feel trappy?
You think some funny business is going on.
Baylor's 9-0. Oregon is 6-5. It's coming off a dominating 25-point home win Wednesday night against Portland. I don't know. Again,
Daniel Lillard's having a rough year.
They can't get him in this game, can they? Dana Allman can't. He can't do that. That's not allowed.
Is not allowed to play. I wouldn't put anything past Oregon.
Okay.
I feel like they could get that done one way or another.
Oregon versus Omicron. Well, who do you like there? You gonna take Oregon?
I'll take Omicron -4.
All right, good. Because you know what? If you were about to take Oregon, I'm going to save that in the bank for later this year if Oregon loses games. You did the right thing, my friend. Man. All right, just give me
Oregon's back-to-back outright Pac-12 champions. They stink, but they shouldn't be bad. Where's your heart at? I mean, at some point, where's your heart at?
We got some lock of the year talk on Baylor covering in this game. Lock of the year means run like hell. Give me Oregon to cover, Baylor to win.
I think I'll take Baylor to win, Oregon to cover. That's a pretty big number against the back-to-back. That's a pretty big number for the back-to-back outright Pac-12 champs. Like at some point, doesn't Oregon and Dana Altman just have to be respectable? It's not like they don't have players. Although Quincy Gary, I noticed this last night, he's just been okay this year. He's a transfer from Syracuse, averaged like 14 points per game last season. He's only averaging 8.3 points. Career low 44.2% from the field. Career low 54.5% from the free throw line. Not playing as much, not doing as much.
It's true.
I guess if you're running from all the Boeheims, taking all the shots, you got to go somewhere. But not off to a great start at Oregon. Prediction, Quincy Gary, breakout game. Baylor wins. Oregon covers the 8. Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Number 17, Texas versus Stanford inside Spearmint Rhino Arena.
Oh, gosh.
Spearmint Rhino Arena. I'll tell you one thing. You don't ever want to have to go back and get your credit card the next day at Spearmint Rhino Arena.
You don't want to have to be the guy who has to drive the other guy and then wait outside as you wait on that person to go into Spearmint Rhino Arena to get his credit card the next day.
It's just a weird place to leave your credit card, you know?
Be clear, I was the guy driving the other guy. Was not the guy, encountering such an establishment the night before. Not me.
Just got to remember to get your credit card, you know?
That's a parade every single Saturday and Sunday morning. Just every 17 minutes, it's a different dude just walking into that thing going to get a credit card.
You got to put an alert on your phone. You know, I wish there was an alert button I could smash for that. When you walk out, it says, "Hey, get your credit card, idiot. You don't want to come back here tomorrow at 2 p.m. You scumbag." KenPom has it Texas -8. You can watch it on ABC.
Stanford won. Right? Did Stanford win last night? So hold on, I'm checking right now. Yeah, beat Dartmouth in overtime. Dartmouth taking Stanford to overtime. Stanford is 6-3. Neutral. We're going to be in. Our friends at the Cover 3 podcast. They do a 3 and 4 man pod. We can't handle that. We might, we'll flirt maybe with a 3-man thing. Cobb did a good job. Cabo wants to get back in, and obviously Booney, you're welcome anytime you want. So maybe we'll flirt with the occasional 3-man pod and get fun here, but they have something called lock unity. So when all 4 of them pick the same, we can't, 2 people is not lock unity, but I think we're going to have lock unity on this with a 2-man style. We're both taking Texas, right? Is there any case you can make for Stanford? We've been offended by Stanford since it started, like, what was it, like 11-0, and we were all in, and then they proceeded to just suck. We got duped. Stanford's not good with us.
Yeah, Jared Hess is in his 6th season, still 0 NCAA tournament appearances at Stanford, 44-49 in Pac-12 games since he's been there, and now they're off to another rough start. They, it's not like they haven't had players. They got a 5-star right now.
I know.
Harrison Ingram, he's leading the team in scoring, I think. They had Zaire Williams. They had a one and done in Tyrell Terry, my homie Ken's little nephew. Shouts to Ken Terry. And they had a top 15 class in 2017, and they've just never been able to break through. And I doubt it's this year. And Texas is sitting here a little bit like Kentucky in the sense that they've got players, they've got a great coach. We think they're good, but they ain't beat anybody yet. 7-2 with losses to Gonzaga and Seton Hall, 0 wins over top 175 KenPom teams, which means the Longhorns are 0-2 against good competition. Stanford, I don't think is good competition, but that's who you're playing, so you got to win the game. Yeah, I'll lay
it's the last year of the Crossroads Classic. So Purdue versus Butler is not the game, but that's the first one. That is noon tip on Fox. And then the other one is Notre Dame versus Indiana. The news came out, Indiana's going to play Kansas home and home. Getting that game means sacrificing the Crossroads. And I think I'm good with that. Crossroads has been around for a decade. If maybe they can revive it 5 or 6 years down the road, maybe make it an every other year kind of thing. I think it's great for that state, that region, getting those 4 big universities in the state of Indiana to play a doubleheader. Not a single header, but a doubleheader. I think that's cool. But I'm okay. Again, you tell me I can have neutral site games or I can trade it for tournament level teams playing in hostile environments. I'm taking the latter every single time. So give me Indiana, Kansas. If that means you got to sacrifice the Crossroads Classic, I'm good with that. So this year is the final one for the foreseeable future, and you will have Notre Dame against Indiana. This is the 5th game we will pick. It is a 2:30 tip on Fox. KenPom has the line at Indiana -3. Who you got?
I'll lay the points with Indiana. I mean, I know Notre Dame just beat Kentucky, but that was at home. This will be on a neutral. A neutral probably suggests to me that Indiana has a crowd advantage, although I'm happy to wait and see. I think Indiana's good. Like I know they lost to Syracuse in that weird double overtime game and lost at Wisconsin, but I think that's a good basketball team that'll be in the NCAA tournament. I'm not certain, even after the win over Kentucky, that Notre Dame's going to get there. I think Indiana will get. I will keep it simple. I think Indiana's slightly better than Notre Dame. I'll lay the 3 points with Indiana.
I also think Indiana's better than Notre Dame. I also think Indiana's going to win and cover that line and win by more than 3 points. It should be noted, Indiana's best win to this point is against St. John's. Did lose the double OT, true sicko stuff against Syracuse, and then was not able to win on the road against Wisconsin when it blew that lead. Wisconsin tied a school record for the largest. I think it tied a school record for the largest comeback ever, or at least in Big Ten play. I can't remember exactly. So Indiana lacks it doesn't have a quad 1 win yet. And this one will not go down as a quad 1 win. If it gets it, it'll probably wind up being a quad 2 result. We'll see how Notre Dame is. But you kind of need this if you're Indiana. So it is an intriguing game. I mentioned my player of the year piece that's going to go up on CBSSports.com or on your CBS Sports app later on Friday. Trace Jackson Davis, definitely in the top 10 for player of the year talk right now. He's averaging 19.3 points, 8.4 boards, 3.4 blocks, and is shooting better than 61% from the field. He has been terrific. He has been what I thought he would be in the preseason when I told you he'd be in the running for first team All-American. He looks damn good. It's not just him. But Indiana, I know IU fans are kind of locked into what this team is and its potential. And defensively, Woodson's definitely made an immediate impact. There's no doubt about that. Offensively, they're still kind of building a bit more here. It's not just all Jackson Davis, but he's been the best player. Want to see a bit more consistency out of Xavier Johnson. I think Race Thompson has really good bursts as a nice complementary piece in the front court alongside Trace Jackson Davis.